Good evening. It's just gone 8 p.m. and you're watching Monday's edition of Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime, channel 294 on DSTV. And my name is Wadzanai Sansole. These are your headlines tonight. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has ordered the immediate reconstruction of the Glen View Area 8 furniture complex, which was gutted by fire on Sunday. A delegation of ministers visited the area to assess the situation. Details coming up on Newsplus. We give you the latest on a temporary closure of the Beitbridge border post, where authorities are avoiding a potentially disastrous situation where a stranded LP gas tanker has been left at the Shell service station, posing a significant explosion hazard. What is the cost of beauty? Well, for Zimbabweans, it is a staggering 6.3 million United States dollars. That is exactly how much Zimbabweans used on importing synthetic hair products in 2024. That story coming up later on the bulletin. In sport, Warrior star Knowledge Musona has joined ambitious PSL side Scotland FC in a blockbuster move which will see him playing in the domestic top flight for the first time. Closer look at the stories making the headlines tonight. We start off with the Liberation Movement Summit, which saw several heads of government whose liberation movements now serve as governing parties in their respective countries, converging in Johannesburg over the weekend to reflect on their roles in the struggle for freedom and reaffirm their unity in defending democratic gains. The summit hosted by the ANC served as a platform for the leaders to reflect on their role in improving the standard of living on the continent. Liberation movements Chama cha Mapinduzi from Tanzania, Frelimo from Mozambique, SWAPO from Namibia, ZANU-PF from Zimbabwe, and MPLA from Angola. Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa attended the summit where he called on the liberation movements to remain united and to recommit themselves to defending their founding values and independence of their countries. Here's an extract from his speech.
United we stand, and divided we fall. Unity, cooperation and solidarity amongst ourselves as liberation parties must realize maximum benefits. To achieve this, it is critically important that we address contradictions within our respective parties and overall body politic. Divergent views and strategies need not cause fractures detrimental to the revolution. Our colossal movements must remain bigger than individuals in the party. While the invisible ends are apparent, we should, as independent Pan-Africanists, close ranks in pursuit of common goals to develop our countries. Let us set aside all forms of differences and confront our challenges head-on, while maintaining the integrity and the correct line of our revolutionary parties. We are one, sharing common values and ideas. Those who seek to foist their nefarious and foreign agendas in our region must be exposed and denounced without shame.
We are now joined by Ranga Mataida, the Zim Papers Group political editor, to reflect on some of the takeaways from this summit. Good evening, Ranga. Thank you for joining us on Newsplus. Now tell me, Ranga, can the summit be seen as an effort to revitalize or rebrand the legacy of liberation movements in the region?
Yes, I think the summit can be seen as an attempt or as an effort to rebrand or revitalize liberation movements. Rebrand in terms of also appealing to the ballooning youth population in respective Southern African countries. So you need to rebrand in order to continue adapting to the dynamics of postmodern existence. So there is need to come up with policies that are tailor-made to suit or to appeal to the youths who are the larger population that is continuously growing. They need to revitalize by also coming up with policies that spur economic growth. You are aware that if someone is hungry, they are angry. So you need to ensure that the youth or the population is not restless, it's well catered for. So in terms of revitalization, they need to take care of the economy. They also need to tailor make the policies in order to suit the ballooning youth population. So this was a crucial meeting in terms of rebranding and revitalizing former liberation movements that are currently the governing political parties in their respective countries.
And Ranga, how might the outcomes of this summit influence regional or continental initiatives, such as the African Continental Free Trade Area?
I think the fundamental takeaway to take from this in terms of how the summit can shape or influence continental or regional development, you can take it from the theme itself, which basically, generally speaking, says that the summit was meant to defend liberation gains. It was also meant to have an integrated socio-economic development. It was also meant to collectively to ensure that there is a common agenda in how they move forward as former liberation movements. So in terms of the summit being a hamburger or being a catalyst for economic development regionally and also continental, I think it is crucial, especially the fact that they are calling for collective unity. They are also calling for moving forward as a unitary body, and that's the only way they can spur development as a collective body.
And what message do you think this summit sends to the international community regarding the region's commitment to development and cooperation?
I think there's one message that is sent to the international community, that despite the historical consciousness of the former liberation movements as the political parties that are governing, despite that historical consciousness that they were fighting decolonization in order to assume power, if you look at the current summit, its main focus was on economic development. So I think the message is that former liberation movements are willing to be development partners of international communities or of any fraternal countries. That's one thing. The second thing is that despite the fact that they are looking for partners to spur economic development, they have not lost the consciousness that of where they are coming from. And that's why you have Russia and China issuing solidarity messages, and their message was that just as they assisted former liberation movements in fighting colonialism, now they are also partners in development. And the good thing about China and Russia, as enshrined in the solidarity message that they issued, is that their partnership or their development is not coming with any conditionalities. They are coming as equal partners for development. So that was very crucial.
Thank you very much, Ranga. Appreciate your time. That was Ranga Mataida, our Zim Paper's group political editor, sharing his insights on the Liberation Movement's summit. We now look at the Glen View fire incident, where President Mnangagwa has ordered the urgent reconstruction of the Glen View Area 8 furniture complex, which was gutted by fire on Sunday morning. The directive forms part of a national program to modernize informal trading spaces, with the Glen View redevelopment now set to run concurrently with the ongoing rebuilding of the Mbare Market Phase 2 project. Our reporter Talen Gore has more.
We are at Glen View Area 8 furniture complex, which was gutted by fire on Sunday morning. Apparently, traders are already on the ground making temporary structures so that they can at least go back to work. The government has promised to build a state-of-the-art industrial site for these traders, which is expected to be complete by the end of 2025. And the president is expected to commission the new site by the first quarter of 2026. Traders at Glen View Area 8 are picking up the pieces again after a fire tore through this major furniture manufacturing hub on Sunday, destroying nearly a quarter of the market and leaving behind losses running into thousands of dollars. Authorities are now fast-tracking redevelopment plans, with work expected to start in September 2025 at the same time that Phase 2 of the Mbari market reconstruction begins. Speaking after touring the scene of the Glen View blaze, local government and public works minister Daniel Garwe says the recurring fires, especially at Glen View and Mbari, demand urgent government intervention.
The investor may need to come and start Glen View area at the same time that we are doing Mbari Traders Market Phase 2, which is September 2025. And we are saying, other things being equal, we should be able to invite His Excellency the President in the first quarter of 2026 to come and commission the Glen View area.
Minister Garwe says the new Glen View design would include road infrastructure, water reticulation, food courts, and proper fire safety systems.
We are not going to be having one roof that covers the entire area. You see, these are hectares and hectares of pieces of land. So we wanted to ensure that there is a road network within the system. There is a water reticulation network. There is a sewer reticulation network. There are facilities for food, restaurants and things like that. There are facilities for banks.
Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Monica Mchangwa, says the country has 5.6 million registered SMEs, contributing more than 60% of the national GDP, now estimated to be at $48 billion United States dollars.
What has happened here requires government support, requires a multi-sectoral approach. It's just not about government. We are talking to private sector. Imagine if our insurance companies had come here and make sure that our SMEs had already taken an insurance, it would be easier.
Harare Mayor Councillor Jacob Mafume also pledged the city's commitment to constructing safer modern infrastructure for informal traders.
There are a lot of areas that will provide temporarily, whilst we are working quickly on this issue. We are going to cooperate with government and the private sector to build a better and bigger infrastructure that is suitable for the craft that is happening here, that will be designed and kitted.
Traders at the complex say they are ready for the government to build a suitable industry.
Pane zvese zvavangachitaura dai wakwanisawo kudzadzikisa pakuti vakatiisirawo marodzi nemvura nezvimwewo zvakasiyana siyana zvingaita kuti moto isazonyanya kubatira mucomplex.
Tinosistirwa kunana September pekuti tinogona kunge takamura zvinhu zvedu zvebasa tine pekutangira, asi pari zvino tatsvirwa panguva ino zvinhu zvedu staff yedu yanga yakawanda singaiti. Saka tinotarisirawo kuti tikwanise kuwana rubatsiro nekuchengetedzerwa nzvimbo yedu. Chinotinetsa ndechekuti tanga tikushuwira kuti tione kunzi dambudziko remoto riri kubva papi each and every year.
The Glen View Area 8 complex has long been a lifeline for hundreds of Harare families. With the planned rebuild, the hope is for lasting transformation that brings both safety and dignity to Zimbabwe's informal economy. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gori in Glen View.
Now, the inferno left many traders grappling with serious losses, reminiscent of the past incidents that have plagued the complex. Now, this is not the first time disaster has struck, and this time around, the traders say they are wiser and are now looking to ensure all their assets.
The origins of fire at the complex remain shrouded in mystery, leaving traders lamenting their losses again. Solutions have been elusive, but a collective core has emerged among the traders to safeguard their stock in the event of another fire incident. Lloyd Bahera, National Chairman for SMEs for Economic Development, assessed that insurance could be the lifeline men desperately need.
I appeal to every SME around Zimbabwe so that we may assure every program that we have. Let's have insurance for every project that we have in order for us to carry on with our ways of living. This is our source of living in Zimbabwe. We understand Zimbabwe is all about SMEs. Over 60% of Zimbabweans, they are SMEs.
Barbara Gukutiwa, a long-serving member at the premises in 2011, found herself at a loss for words, urging her fellow partners to embrace transparency whenever government steps in to offer assistance.
Takukumbira kuti hurumende kana yauya ngauye paground tichiona mumwe nemumwe isusu munomu tinozivana kuti isheti ndiyaningi isheti ndiyaningi yona mumwe nomwe kuitira kana tichitenda hurumende ngatiwane mukana wekutenda hurumende kuti tiwane mukana wekushora hurumende asi iyo yaunza zvinhu nekuti tinenge tisina kuzvinzwa kuti hurumende yaunza zvinhu saka hurumende ikanzi yaunza zvinhu tikazvinzwa ndofunga tinotenda nekuti tese tiri vana vehurumende.
A systematic redesign of Glen View Furniture Complex in Harare is needed to improve safety, formalize operations, and modernize the facility. Sunday's fires made the need more apparent than ever.
Tivake zviri systematic for the meantime zviri temporary izvo takamirira kuuya kwehurumende kuti zvivaka zvakanaka toisa masheds ari in line takavhura maroads ekutiwo ave accessible kuti vanhu vasaramba vachiita dambudziko irori. Takaitawo problem yekuti in any event paitawo kamoto katanga fire brigade inongouya yoparadza one side iroro.
Another trader, Ranga Magomo, echoed the call for a well-structured complex to prevent future fire incidents.
Taibatsirwa kuti tipaiswe maroads anobve kuroad ichipinde mukati munomu ichibude kudai so mashedhi ari muurongwa hwakanaka tinobatsirike kuti kana fire brigade ikauya kana maite moto inodzima zvine zvichikasika kunyange isusu makapenda acho pasina fire brigade tinokwanisa kuti angatibatane tiputse shedhi iyi kuti moto usayambuke kwenu asi izvozvo zvamuna dai taibatsirwa kuti nyaya yemaroads iyo inge irimo.
Gilvas Maungira, the chairman for Harare Province for Economic Development, also emphasized the necessity for collaboration among the traders, urging them to work for a safer future.
Pavakuisa ma-structures vange vachisiya nzvimbo dzemugwagwa so that pakaita problem yemoto fire brigade inokwanisa kumhanya ichipinda ichizondodzimura, that is kana paita dambudziko remoto uyezve wabatirana kuti moto usaramba uchienderera mberi.
The unpleasant experience induces caution and perhaps offers painful lesson to the traders out of this complex. The need to ensure their property can never be understated. Latu Nyangu for Zimbabwean Prime in Glen View 8.
Now still to come on Newsplus, Beitbridge border post closed due to LP gas tanker hazard.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Two fans, one game. One of them paid for quality, the other didn't. ZTM Prime now offers premium live Premier Soccer League matches behind a paywall. Skip the stress. Watch your team in high definition, uninterrupted and in real time. ZTM Prime paywall matches because real fans watch live.
Didn't graduate? I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
The Phoenix Podcast has always brought you the best of the best.
I missed on that blessing, but I also regained it in some way.
In seasons 1 and 2, we introduced you to the industry's brightest stars, the ones at the top of their game, the creme de la creme. But season 3 promises to be even more exciting. We're bringing you even more fascinating guests, including the renowned farmer, Patrick Mataida. And to top it all off, our very own host, Ken Sharp, will be stepping out of the interviewer's chair and into the hot seat as he gets interviewed by a surprise guest host.
From the boss, we've been beaten, but we're not beaten yet. We can still rise.
Konapo Konapo, Ipapo Ipapo, by ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.
This is Newsplus, and we're coming to you live from Harare. Now, South African and Zimbabwean border officials have temporarily stopped the movement of traffic into either country through the Beitbridge port of entry to avoid a potentially disastrous situation where a stranded LP gas tanker has been left at the Shell service station, posing a significant explosion hazard. Emergency teams have been swiftly deployed to the scene, and you'll find that they've said that as a precautionary measure, all operations at the border post have been temporarily suspended. We get more from Tupeyam Lea.
In a notice to inter-border agencies and stakeholders, South Africa Revenue Services lead person at Beitbridge, Memorindo, said on Monday that as a precautionary measure, all operations at the border post had been temporarily suspended until the tanker was moved. She said the team was clearing trucks from the gate and officials have been evacuated to ensure their safety. Truck drivers had also been advised to return to designated parking sites while traffic was also temporarily held from moving on the Zimbabwean side of the border. Traffic coming from Musona was also temporarily held at near Matombo Lodge, just outside Musona. According to the official, the work was expected to continue until Tuesday morning.
From bustling township pavements to glossy uptown boutiques, one thing remains constant: the pursuit of beauty. In Zimbabwe, women and some men are willing to go to great lengths and cost to look the part. Now, despite a 2016 restriction on hair imports to boost local manufacturing, Zimbabwe still imported over $6.3 million worth of synthetic and human hair, wigs, fake beards, and eyelashes in 2024 alone. Our business reporter, Melissa Chatikobo, gives us more.
Pese panetika panenge pane kuti economy yakasheka, vakadzi avashayi mari, vangatoshaya mari kunotenga madomasi, but yekuzvinakisa vanenge vanayo.
In the heart of Mbare at Mpedzana corner, Preeti Muringai has been in the business of making ladies prettier for the past 5 years. For as little as $4, one can look fabulous. Just about 5.3 kilometers away along Rotterdam Road, the same industry plays out differently. At Homegate Mall, Tanya Chiwanza, known as Mr. Fix-It in hair circles, runs Hair Embers Zimbabwe, where looking good comes with a premium tag. One can pay $200 to $300 to look good.
E-investment, because you can find out that a week can last up to 5-10 years or more than that. So, like, the person can something like maybe 5 weeks, and then, like, during that period of time,
Inspiration meets transformation at Esther's Beauty Parlor, a business named after the biblical queen known for her beauty rituals. Founder Dr. Mbegede offers wigs from $60 to $590, giving women the power to reinvent themselves strand by strand.
One thing about women, they want to look beautiful, they want to be adored. You know how a flower wants to be adored, so it always wants to stand out. Like just a flower, it has very unique colors and etc. So women just want something that makes them look more beautiful.
But there's one thing all these stylists and traders have in common. None of their products are locally sourced. From lace frontals to fox locks, everything is imported because local manufacturers, they say, simply can't meet demand. In 2016, authorities placed restrictions on hair imports to promote local production. Yet, fast forward to 2024, and Zimbabwe imported over 6.3 million worth of beauty-related hair products, including human and synthetic hair, eyelashes, and even fake beards.
I think this is one of the many areas where import substitution really needs to be deepened and accelerated, in the sense that this is an opportunity for local industry to manufacture and be able to meet local demand, because a huge chunk of foreign currency is being lost.
Precision meets glam at Hair and Lash Lounge. Here, Jeffrey Makura applies eyelash extensions with the focus of a surgeon, one lash at a time.
Tingafare zvakanyanya kana takawanooma local industry yedu yakatanga kugadzirwa malashes, because zvinotidhurira kuti titase tiode malashes. Tinonge tatokata macost echi import.
According to import records, fake beards were also among top imports last year, but finding a seller not so easy. From the streets, hair salons and boutiques, hair is big business. From $3 to $500 or even $1,000. It clearly shows that Zimbabweans are willing to pay a price for the perfect look. Reporting for ZTM Prime, I am Melissa Chatkobo in Harare.
That was a story on investment on wigs and hair. Now, moving on, the government has rolled out over 300,000 vaccines to the different parts of the country to fight the foot and mouth disease, which has been recorded in 3 areas. The disease has been recorded in areas like Gutu, Masvingo, and Chivu. Speaking on the sidelines during the 57th edition of the Zimbabwe Head Book Breed Sale at Mount Hamden, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Davis Marapira, said they are set to vaccinate animals in these different areas to ensure that they protect dairy animals and pedigree breeds.
Most worrisome, the foot and mouth. I think you are quite aware that in the whole of South Africa, it's only 2 provinces which are foot and mouth free. Otherwise, the rest of South Africa is under foot and mouth. But in Zimbabwe, we have a pocket, like in Gutu, some parts of Masvingo, and of late, Chivu. But I'm happy to tell you that we have got more than 300,000 vaccines, which we are going to focus on the affected areas. And we are going to ring fence our important areas, which are the pedigree breeders and the dairy farmers. So that means we are going to vaccinate foot and mouth around these areas, so that we make sure that we protect our pedigree breeds, which are our seed, and also our dairy animals.
Now, the government, through the Ministry of National Housing and Social Amenities, is intensifying efforts to curb illegal settlements and developments on wetlands through a robust policy framework and practical interventions, including relocating flood victims to properly planned areas such as Dzivarasekwa and Binga. Now, authorities are also in the process of amending bylaws to enforce wetland protection, ensuring sustainable urban development and environmental conservation. Now, the move comes as the nation is witnessing rapid urbanization, which has increased pressure on land and led to the proliferation of illegal settlements in ecologically sensitive areas.
Harare hasn't been spared in terms of rapid urbanization. This has increased the demand for housing needs. This is now where you are seeing that there is proliferation of settlements in unplanned areas. As Minister of National Housing, we have since launched our Human Settlements Policy, which articulates the issues of wetlands protection, and it's very clear that there shall be no construction in wetlands. So we have got a guideline in terms of how it's supposed to be done when we are doing housing development. In the policy articulates this issue of we are not supposed to build in wetlands. And also from the policy, we are envisaging to have this reviewed in the bylaws. Currently, we are using outdated bylaws, which are kind of a bit silent on wetland protection. So we are actually in the process of having these bylaws reviewed so that what we have in the policy becomes enforceable by law.
Still on our top stories, in a move aimed at improving dietary diversity and promoting sustainable development among marginalized groups in society, Nyaradzo Group's Friends of the Environment program has set up nutrition gardens and portable orchards at Idave Kwako Old People's Home and Kukurane Shungu Institute in Marondera. The project has also received support from the Environmental Management Agency and Marondera churches in response to environmental management and Build Tomorrow to supplement the food basket in these institutions by empowering them with means of production.
Through our subsidiary, Forte, Friends of the Environment, we have partnered with other like-minded stakeholders such as Build Tomorrow, EMA, Agritex, and the Church Fraternity through MCREM. Today, we were at Idawe Kwako Old People's Home, where we had a handover ceremony for portable orchards and nutritional gardens. The main reason for this initiative was to equip the underprivileged organization to supplement their diets through nutritional fruits and vegetables and develop self-sustainability.
The police on Sunday, with the support of community members in Beitbridge, have managed to smash a well-orchestrated cattle rustling syndicate that has been operating around the district for over a year now. 12 suspects, among them 6 alleged rustlers, 5 meat buyers from Beitbridge town, and a transporter, have been arrested in connection with the matter. Now, the gang is reported to have killed over scores of cattle during the reign of terror, and so far, police detectives have linked them to the theft and slaughter of 41 cattle. Now, Acting Police Officer commanding Beitbridge District, Superintendent Pilisani Ndebele, said the gang was arrested following a tip-off. He also said further investigations were underway to establish if the gang is linked to more reported cases. Now, today has been pretty cold, so for your weather update as we start the week, we are joined by Meteorological Services Department's Chief Forecaster, James Ngoma, to give a forecast of the days ahead. Good evening, James. Quite a cold weekend we had now. What is the weather looking like as we move towards the month of August?
So these types of cooling conditions are normal during this period where we're still in the wintry parts of the year, and we expect these systems to be inherent in it, and they come in a periodic way where we get one system coming in for this week and another one in the following week, but intermittent days we get a bit of sunshine here and there. So to the farmer, in terms of days to watch, it's when the cloud actually fades away. So for right now, we're getting less of that ground frost, but as these clouds are easing off as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, we expect these clear skies to cause a sharp drop in our morning temperatures, resulting in ground frost in areas such as Matopos at first, then spreading into areas such as Yogweru, Masvingo as the cloud moves eastwards, then finally over the eastern highlands where we're expecting also a temperature drop in areas such as your Nikaland provinces and the eastern highlands, areas such as your Nyanga and Mukandi areas which are prone to frost. To the general public now, we still expecting this cold spell to be still apparent. So when you hear that there's going to be a forecast of this cooling southeasterlies, it might also affect your areas. So please take the necessary precautions to keep warm. Also ensure that the young children and the elderly are kept warm. And if you happen to light a brazier or a fire indoors, please ensure that the room is well ventilated as well.
Thank you very much, James, for giving us the weather update and preparing us for the week ahead. Now, when Newsplus returns, we'll give you updates from the world around us.
people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
You are still watching Newsplus. Thank you very much for staying with us. We now take a look at what's happening in the world around us. The Cameroon Electoral Commission, ELECAM, has announced the decision to remove opposition leader Maurice Kamto from the list of approved presidential candidates. Ahead of the upcoming presidential elections, only 13 of 83 registered candidates, including current President Paul Biya, were approved. 92-year-old Biya, who has ruled the country since 1982, is seeking an 8th term as Cameroon's leader as he runs as a candidate for the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, RDPC. The disqualification of the opposition leader, who is seen as Biya's main rival, was explained by the nomination of 2 other candidates from the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy, MANIDEM. Now, candidates excluded from the presidential race have 2 days to file a legal challenge, and Cameroonian presidential elections are scheduled for October the 12th. Still on our global stories, the Sudan Founding Alliance has announced the formation of a rival administration, the Transitional Peace Government, led by Rapid Support Forces RSF Commander Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo. Now, the Sudanese government and the country's army condemned the move, calling on countries and organizations not to recognize it. The rival government will be overseen by a 15-member presidential council. NAQD declared that Mohamed Al-Taishi would be the Prime Minister of the Transitional Peace Government.
عقدت الهيئة القيادية لتحالف السودان التأسيسي تأسيس يوم الخميس الموافق 24 يوليو 2025 دورة الانعقاد الثانية، وذلك لمناقشة العديد من النقاط المهمة في أجندة اجتماعاتها، من بينها تشكيل المجلس الرئاسي واختيار رئيس وزراء حكومة السلام الانتقالية. تشكيل المجلس الرئاسي لحكومة السلام الانتقالية من 15 عضوا، من ضمنهم حكام الأقاليم والذين بحكم مناصبهم ينوبون عن رئيس المجلس الرئاسي عن أقاليمهم. وأعضاء المجلس الرئاسي هم: 1. السيد القائد محمد حمدان دقلو رئيس المجلس الرئاسي. 2. السيد القائد عبد العزيز آدم الحلو نائبا للرئيس. اختيار السيد الأستاذ محمد حسن عثمان التعايشي رئيسا لوزراء حكومة السلام الانتقالية.
Now, a cholera outbreak continues to spread in much of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, with more than 35,000 cases and 700 deaths reported since the beginning of this year. This escalation has been attributed to extreme weather events, poor sanitation, and a displacement crisis in the east. The number of people with the bacterial disease has been rising in the DRC since January now. And there are many causes of the increase in cases, including the impact of the conflict in the east of the country.
Cholera is about hygiene. We'll continue to work together with the government, which we are very grateful for the support, on hand washing, proper usage of latrines and etc., so that we can combat cholera. So my assessment now, we are doing pretty good. We expect the patients who are inside to be discharged within the coming few days.
Now, young talents from across Africa tested their ability to design and assemble robots at the second edition of the YADEC Robotic Challenge Forum in Abidjan. Despite their small size, the robots operated by forum participants using gamepads can perform various tasks, including simultaneously driving and showing signs on their display. Now, organizers of the forum, entitled Robotics and Climate, believe that the development of the technologies could help reduce carbon emissions and improve livelihoods across the continent.
Smart Data System accompagne Yadak Robotique depuis sa création en tant que partenaire principal, voilà, partenaire financier également, et donc offre les locaux à Yadak Robotique pour des besoins de formation ou des besoins d'accompagnement des différents compétiteurs, voilà, qui ont généralement, on va dire, 1 mois, 2 mois pour se préparer à la compétition, donc ils ont besoin d'espace, voilà, pour réaliser ou pour apprendre à monter, par exemple, les différents robots qui seront utilisés.
Quels sont les...
Thousands of dancers flooded Rotterdam on Saturday, turning the city into a uniquely colorful musical show for this year's Zomer Carnival, or Summer Carnival. Footage captures the parade's electric energy, with performers adorned with feathers and Caribbean-inspired flair spinning, waving, and dancing along 38 themed floats, cheered on by massive crowds lining the streets. Now, the annual summer event draws participants from around the world, and each group showcases cultural pride through movement, costume, and music, blending Caribbean roots with Dutch celebration.
So we're here today in Rotterdam. This is the place where you can express yourself. I love it, and I'm with my girls dancing. We're beautiful all together. The theme from our group is roses, and yeah.
I think it's something very cultural. It's a way to express ourselves, and of course colors and the styles. I love it.
Now, coming up is business.
Catch exclusive interviews every weekday for candid, exciting and thought-provoking conversations with your host, Ariston Holdings.
We talk about arts, we can talk about sports, we can even talk about politics, and sometimes we venture into a nice guitaristic play.
The one story where you can't get out of your head. Wakatarisa munhu so Erica, like where you're sitting. Ndozongokona bata face so pasina munhu.
Wakasiya music yako yo afro chakuti ndo music manje no yeMzimbabwe.
And I'm sure they're still saying the same thing now.
Yeah, so
Shona kana kuti chindevere kana mumwe mutaure muno muZimbabwe ndiwe iwewe. Ndiwo rupawo rwako. Ndicho chidadiso chako.
Catch me, Erica Ndoro, right here on ZTN Prime every single Monday at 7 p.m. whilst we get exclusive.
It's time to now take a look at what's happening on the economic landscape. Authorities in Zimbabwe have emphasized the importance of strict monitoring of government projects, which they said is crucial for ensuring transparency, accountability, and efficient use of public resources. This emerged during the first day of a monitoring, evaluation, and learning week program that's underway at the HICC. Stati Swegwaza gives us more.
Zimbabwe for a long time suffered from a phenomenon of uncompleted national projects for varying reasons. This resulted in the stakeholders not realizing any return on investments. To cure this, authorities established strict monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to ensure projects are followed through. Currently, the government is formulating NDS-2, which takes over from NDS-1, which was launched in 2021 and ends this year, a fact that underscores the importance of monitoring and evaluation.
As Zimbabwe
We apologize for that glitch. But still on business stories, Ariston Holdings reported $2 million revenue for the half year to March 2025, down 18% due to lower local tea sales. Despite a 24% drop in production costs, the group posted a gross loss of $441,000 and a net loss of $1.4 million. This is a 32% improvement year on year. Now, tea production fell 45%, while macadamia volumes dropped by 32%. The group expects a harvest of more than 300 hectares from the maize crop planted at the group's Kent estate. We are now joined live by Eben Mabunda for perspectives on this subject. Good evening, Eben. Eben, what's your assessment of this performance?
Well, good evening. There are some figures that are giving mixed signals. When you look at the top line, $2 million in terms of revenue, that's quite a solid figure. However, it's the gross loss of course, over 400,000. That's very much concerning, because you've got that gross loss right, of course, just below, of course, the top line, and an indication that things are not in the best shape as they should. However, there's been some improvement when you look at that particular aggregate against the performance of the group over the past 18 months. Losses have been recorded over that stipulated period, about 18 months or so, and of course, concerning indications that are coming through from those particular statistics. At the same time, it's important to note that these results are coming at a point where we're witnessing depressed tea prices, bearing in mind that tea is the mainstay of the business activities of Ariston Holdings over the decades that, of course, the group has been in existence. So this is somewhat reflective of that. But also at the same time, it's important to note that there's been a deliberate strategy by Ariston not to export as much as they have done in the past, owing to the foreign currency retention ratios that have been upped from 25% to 30%, as it has made more sense for them to, of course, sell their products domestically as opposed to exporting them. Hence the figures that we're seeing reflected here by Ariston Holdings.
And Eben, that being said, what are your expectations going forward?
Well, going forward in the outlook, Ariston is quite bullish of its maize harvest and what that would mean for the group. Of course, these results are for the half year up to the end of March, and so that was before factoring in the harvest from their maize product, which of course would be something that took place after the reporting date, or should I say after the close of the books, more correctly rather. And so those harvests are expected to be reflected in the second half of their financial year. But beyond that, you would also be looking at how they've invested where their solar plants are concerned, and a good number of the operations can now operate on solar, which was not so before. And of course, we had our team visit some of their sites and bore record to just how the solar plants have transformed their operations. And of course, they've also diversified their operations into macadamia, and a new plant has come on board which also takes advantage of artificial intelligence when nut picking is concerned, when nut selection is concerned, in line with some global trends. So these are some of the transformations that have taken place within Ariston Holdings, not to forget the, of course, joint venture that Ariston has also undertaken, which I believe when you look at all of these factors, they could result in a transformation in terms of not only their top line, but also even in terms of their bottom line, perhaps in the next 2 or 3 reporting periods, and some positives that could be expected as well from the tea side, with possibilities of improvements where the prices of macadamia, the price of tea in regional as well as global markets.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate your time. That was Eben Mabunda breaking down what's happening with Ariston Holdings. Stay tuned to Newsplus for some sports updates.
Captain Wally J's about to take you to boot camp.
It's the riveting science and tech show that keeps you up to date with the hottest gizmos on the block and revealing the illustrious and innovative visionaries in Zimbabwe. So much to see, you'll keep swiping.
This cherry red beauty is the Dairy Auto M7 mini electric car.
They've designed our brute force incubator board.
Look at what we've got here.
Solar powered scarecrow was part of the project that I was supposed to complete.
Catch Swipe every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294. Get the picture?
Knowledge Musona has joined ambitious PSL side Scotland FC in a blockbuster move which will see him playing in the domestic top flight for the first time. The 35-year-old was officially unveiled by Scotland at Rufaro Stadium this Monday. He joins the club as a free agent after leaving a Saudi Arabian club earlier this month.
The jersey, number 8. That's the jersey he'll be wearing. Number 8. Right. Knowledge, we need you to show. The smiling assassin. There he is. Jersey of
Now at Scotland, Musona will play alongside his younger brother Walter, who is the captain of the side, with the two set to play together at club level for the first time. He will also team up with fellow Aces Youth Academy graduate Kama Billiard, who is among the array of stars at the club. And still on sport, Taimon Machope was on target as Scotland beat Yada 1-0 at Rufaro this Monday to move within a point of log leaders Zimbabwe. The win saw Scotland leapfrog Moors into second place on 43 points, one behind table toppers Zimbabwe, who were held to a 1-1 draw away to Manica Diamonds on Sunday. Now, Caps may just have pushed Highlanders to conclude negotiations for a new coach, thanks to Nyasha Chintuli, who scored a brilliant goal as Caps United beat Highlanders 1-0 in an exciting match at Rufaro on Sunday. Caps United coach Ian Bakala was thrilled to finally get a win over Highlanders.
I think my players did well. I think it's a revenge where I'd stopped. But I'm very happy today for the boys. I think they fought from the first whistle till the last whistle. And looking at the game, it wasn't easy for us. But the boys managed to get the 3 points, which is good for us. And, I give credit to the players. Yeah, and the obvious case, the president, the support is giving us, which is good for us. And we pray that we continue like this.
Interim Highlanders coach Trai Ncube was left frustrated by his side's defeat.
One lapse of concentration in the middle, and then they utilized that space and that chance, and then they scored, came over. Yeah, we are worried because even if we get, as long as we don't get a result, we have to be worried whether it's home or away, but we are not getting results, so we are disappointed actually.
In other results, Dynamo's fall from grace continued as they fell to a heavy 3-0 defeat away to Chicken Inn at Barberfields. Elsewhere, Ngezi Platinum Stars beat Talwan 2-1 at Baobab FC. Platinum won 1-0 away to Green Fuel. ZPC Kariba thrashed Kwekwe 3-0. Now, Triangle continued to pull away from the relegation zone after brushing aside Bikita Minerals 3-0 at Gibo. Caps United continue to be active in their transfer market, with the club set to complete the signing of young Warriors midfielder Kennedy Mupomba. The 20-year-old former West Ham Academy graduate arrived in Harare from the UK on Sunday and was welcomed by Caps United officials at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. He last played for Chelmsford in the English 6th-tier league. He has also featured for League 2 side Colchester United FC. And still on sport, still with Makepekepe, midfielder Kundai Benyu is reportedly on his way out of the club on a big money move. Benyu missed Caps' 1-0 win over Highlanders, with the club insisting that he is injured. But it has now emerged that the silky midfielder is undergoing trials in Saudi Arabia, and that an Algerian club has also made an offer for his services. Benyu joined the Green Machine as a free agent at the start of the season. He previously had stints with Scottish giants Celtic and also played in Iceland. Now, a team of 8 players from Dominican Convent School will represent the country at this year's edition of the World Schools Team Chess Championships in Washington, D.C., United States, from the 3rd to the 6th of August. Dominican Convent headmistress Sister Kudzai is confident that the team will do their level best as they go out to represent the country, and hopes the girls will use the trip as a learning exercise.
I'm very confident of my girls. I think they have shown us that they're actually excellent, because 2 years in a row, Convent has been the national champions. And the fact that the winning team from Convent is not the one that is purely going to compete, gives me confidence that we are developing young talent, because we do have under 13s who are going with this team, and for them to participate at that very highest level is amazing. So perhaps I wouldn't say we want to win as such, but I want my team to develop and to gain the confidence and to gain the experience, so that when they come back, but some of them are Form 1s and Form 2s, so already participating at that high level is amazing, because it sort of like sets a very firm foundation for chess at Convent for the future.
Now, Sister Mutsuri added that they hope to spread the gospel of chess countrywide, and hopes that NMB Bank will also continue sponsoring them after they gave them a $5,000 boost.
I'm really excited. I've actually spoken to them about the fact that they need to sponsor chess as a tournament every year, so that we can also perhaps help develop chess in the underprivileged schools, like we have done for debate. So as much as we are doing well as Convent, I'm very sure that there are very talented girls and boys out there who do not actually have the opportunity to play chess. And once we get a sponsor, my dream will be that we take chess right to the grassroots, because children are children. They are very talented if given a chance. So once we get a sponsor like NMB has promised, I would really want to take chess to the grassroots, that those schools that are far and are not even seen can also start participating in chess. So we don't want to grow alone as Convent, we want to grow as Zimbabwe.
And that's a wrap on Newsplus this Monday evening. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.